This is pearls of wisdom. You know, what did they say in the Bible? What profit a man who loses his soul and gains the world? You know what I mean? There's, you got to weigh everything in life. And we're weighing a standard of living, okay, with money and the quality of our lives. And sometimes you could have a wonderful quality of life and you're not making much money. That's okay. I would rather have that. But very often I see a very high standard of living, something really exorbitant, and the quality of their life is horrible. They're in a hell with all that money. So keep that in mind, standard of living versus quality of life, right? So regarding real estate, we've got to keep in mind the future arrives every day. Every day we should know what we're going to do. We should have pretty much a good layout. And it's a new beginning. Even though all the things that happened in the past could be bad, it is a new beginning and you can make new choices. And then the difference between a stumbling block and a stepping stone is how you use them. This is so true. A lot of times, something happens to me very often that looks very negative. Like this. This thing is kind of a negative thing. You think,
yeah, it is.
Well, you know. But you know what? It's opened up a lot of other doors. Nothing is ever one way. So if something good happens to you, there's a bad side. Something bad happens, there's a good side. The duality never stops. Okay? So there's always another side to it. Like when someone starts saying something negative about a deal or about people involved in a transaction, what's the other side? They're telling you one side. There's always another side. Okay? Oh, a sense of humor, good to have at any age. I told Marion, we have to stamp everything. You must have a sense of humor. Absolutely. And even on our website, we've got to put that up there. Sense of humor, a must. Okay? I've interviewed some people to join Rubicon, and they weren't right. Dismal, negative, toxic human beings. Why do I want to be around them? Okay? It's too much trouble. Look at that. It's not what you know, but who you know.
Who you know.
True, true, true. And the biggest deal I have ever done in my life, I know Fred remembers it, it's all because I knew someone from Caltech when I was in the chemical business. My commission was $350,000 because they knew me and they liked me. I hired someone just to make copies, just to do the paperwork. That's all I had to do for this. And it was a huge loan involving many, many units in Los Angeles. But it was all because I knew somebody. We are in a business now, and Fred, you tell me if you agree or not. It's all about knowing people. All in this business is referral. All of my deals in those red folders are referrals. I didn't put an ad in the paper, and I'm waiting for someone to answer the ad. It's just not going to happen. Okay? You've got to develop a referral business, and we're going to talk more about that. If you make people smile, they are more likely to do business. That's true. My partner in many things, Isaac, he's outrageous. You want to kill him, but he makes you laugh. I want to kill him sometimes. He comes in, he goes all over my desk, moves everything on my desk. He says, I got to have a drink, give me a drink. Disrupts everything I'm doing. I want to shoot him, but I'm laughing at the same time. You can't stay mad at someone who kind of makes you laugh about that. Right, Andy? You know? Even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. You cannot stand still. This is true. You see what I'm doing every day. What's the next step? What's the next step? I'm driving my poor granddaughter nuts. What are we going to do tomorrow? What are we doing? Critical. She's nodding like I am driving her crazy. At work, okay, at work, if you watch the clock, you will always be one of the hands. You like that, don't you? You watch the clock like you think, oh, I can't do that. It's my day off. I call Isaac at 3 o'clock in the morning, he's ready to do business. And so am I, you know. If I call another person, they say, what, are you crazy? I'm sleeping. You know, I said, this is the deal. We got to have this tomorrow morning. I like doing business with people who don't have a clock. You call me anytime, it's business, we do it. What happened, sweetheart? Is it okay? Grievances should be slept on before being aired. I learned this from my partner, Leon Schreier. And now me and Michael, we've incorporated it into our behavior. Because both of us tend to fly off the handle. And when something happens to you, and you react, you say something you really are going to regret. Once the words come out of your mouth, you can't take them back. My partner Leon said, always sleep on it. If you're going to sign something, wait till tomorrow. Read it, take your time. Another person I'm doing business with is screaming, come on, we need it, we got to do it now. Sign the papers, we got to get going, we got to close. That's wrong, okay? And I didn't do it. I said, no, I've got the money, I'm in charge of the transaction, we'll do it tomorrow. I'm driving them crazy. But you know what? They wanted to close this escrow short. That means you don't have enough money in the escrow. And after it closes, I'm the guy who's going to have to put in the extra $10,000, $20,000. And that's a no-no. So I said, no, we don't close the escrow until I get the payoff from the lender. And I want it directly from the lender. And I want it in writing, right? Documentation. Documentation and a referral are the two most important things. When you meet the man of your dreams, documentation. Come in, have a seat.
Thank you, thank you.
You want documentation. We'll handle your documentation. I forgot your champagne.
Don't worry about it.
I didn't forget it, but it's home.
Okay.
We bought it.
All right.
Trader Joe's.
Next time, thank you.
Give me, is it Renato? Ramon. Nicole, will you remember Ramon?
Yes.
She forgot too because I told her about it.
He was rushing me.
God, nice screw up. Okay, the majority is often wrong. Okay, this is a great one. The majority is often wrong. Why? Look at Louis Pasteur. The majority said, you don't have to wash your instruments, you don't have to clean anything, women are giving birth and dying, it's okay, you know, you don't have to clean anything. Along comes Louis Pasteur and says there are germs. You got to wash things. Like Lister, the other guy, the other scientist. You got to wash these things because there are germs. You're going to sicken, you're going to die. You're going to die. They said he was wrong. Do you know what happened to Louis Pasteur? His daughter was giving birth. Pass it to Ramon. His daughter was giving birth. You got it?
I don't remember there.
His daughter was giving birth, and the doctor said, unless you retract your germ theory, we will not treat your daughter. You know, imagine that crap? Okay, he said, all right, I'll do it. Anyway, they didn't do it. But the germ theory, that was the beginning of great medicine. All right? It was one person who stood alone, and the majority was against him. Like Galileo, they were going to burn him because he was saying the world is round. To church, everyone's saying it's flat, you idiot, what are you, crazy? And they made him, they were going to kill him. He had to retract it. He really did have to say, okay, all right, it's flat, you know.
See, you guys,
Yeah, let me tell you, you say, they're going to burn you at the stake, please, keep it flat.
Keep it flat.
Okay. How you say something is more important than what you say. Gesturing, right? When a person makes a decision to buy from you, it's what they see and how you gesture, how you move your body and how you talk to them. But remember, what they see is critical because they're going to make the decision based on appearances, like a Tommy Bahama shirt. Okay, the majority is often wrong. If you want an easy job to seem hard, keep putting it off. Now, the way to do a job is you do a little bit each day if you absolutely hate it, like my tax return. Every day I would do 1 page. Okay, it took me 3 months. If I did 1 page a day, it took me 3 months. It was about a 90-page tax return. It was a nightmare. All right? The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. You want to know what you're about? What do you think about? As you can see, unfortunately, my granddaughter and I, we think a lot about food. We love pasta. We think a lot about it. We even got flags, one for pasta and one for mozzarella cheese. This is really what we think about. Remember, even monkeys fall out of trees. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Look, they're good. They're the greatest climbers in the world. Every once in a while, they fall out of a tree. Every once in a while, you're not going to get that listing. You're not going to make that sale. Your escrow's going to fall out, like the monkey in the tree. Wise people listen to those who oppose them. Right? Nicole very often opposes me. And I find it's the same thing with her mother, my daughter. They're always opposing me. And unfortunately, Paul, I'm sorry to tell you, they're right most of the time. So when your children start, be careful.
Be careful. Yeah.
We might have to eat our words.
Yep.
Set both short and long-term goals. Okay. I don't have long-term goals. I have short-term goals. But long-term goals are very important, and I'm not good at that. I'm not sure where I want to be 5 years from now. Okay, that's a little problem that I have, but you got to see where your weakness is. Some people can set long-term goals, and they have problems what they're going to do tomorrow. That's an issue. Okay, if you live in the river, make friends with the crocodile. When the IRS wants information, you be nice, because they are a big crocodile, okay? They're a megalodon, right? Nicole was telling me about this new shark. It's bigger than sharks, it eats more. It's called a megalodon. I think it really exists. The IRS is a megalodon, right? Okay. Success has a lot to do with attitude. You know what? If you think you're going to fail, you're probably going to fail. Failure is not an option. My partner Leon Schreier, God bless his soul, he never considered the possibility of failure. Even when we were days away from bankruptcy, big time. I said, Leon, we're losing everything. My God, what are we going to do? He said, if you don't have any money, go spend some. And we wound up buying signs and wrapping the signs around buildings, now re-renting. We rented everything. One weekend we did a lot of rentals, and we were able to catch up a little bit. Okay. To know the road ahead, ask people who are coming back. If you're on a certain course in behavior, let's say you're an alcoholic, God forbid. What happened to the person who recovered? And they're coming back, and you could get a lot of information that could help you from that person coming back. Or a person who's made it in real estate. They're coming back to talk to people, having a good time and whatnot. You want to find out, they're coming back, what was it like? Getting there, what were the sacrifices? Because there's always a price, right, Fred? There's always a price, no matter what we do. Over-tip waiters and waitresses. I do that, especially when you like them. You know, usually you tip about 20%, right? 15 to 20%. If you really like them and you're going to give them your business card, over-tip them and possibly make a friend. Because I have to like waiters and waitresses that are good. Changing what you do will change how you think and feel. Absolutely. Do you know how you change an emotional state? Physical activity. I'm learning from myself. We're doing all these things. If you're feeling bad, run. Your body will produce endorphins, okay, or exercise. Physical activity will change an emotional state. That's incredible. A bad marriage is worse than no marriage. Of course. A bad tenant is worse than no tenant. You see the relationship to real estate? You get a bad tenant and you're in hell. Okay? With the housing authority, they'll go on for 6 months not paying rent, drive you crazy, destroy the property. A bad tenant is worse than no tenant at all. Leave the damn thing vacant. You're better off in the long run. Right, Andy?
Yep.
The trick is to live a long time without growing old. How do you keep from growing old? You've got to have goals. And I tell you another thing. being around young people is very good because they have fresh ideas. You know, in Italian, you say a capa fresca. They have a fresh head. They got new ideas, new ways of doing things. Guys like me, I'm not in tune with that at all. So I get young people, especially like Eve, when they come in here and I talk to them. I always learn from the young people. And besides, they're pleasant to look at. Now, all you need to have fun is one good friend. I hope everybody has a good friend. Not a relative, but a buddy or a girlfriend, someone you confide in, you can say just about anything, and you hang out, spend a little time. That's critical. I've been very lucky in that department. You can tell more about a person by what he says about other people than what others say about him. That's a very interesting thing. Ask a person, well, what do you think of so-and-so? And then that person, he'll say something. Then you say, well, what do you think of that other person? He'll say something. What if he's saying all bad things about all these different people? Not a good sign. Okay? Surely, there must have been something good that he could have found. Okay, Fred, come on, tell me when you left. What happened?
Yeah, they say point the finger at somebody, you got...
That's right.
Got some pointing back, 4 pointing back at you.
That's true.
That's it.
I gotta say, what Fred said, if you point a finger at someone, but you got 3 of them pointed back at you, which is
That's
true. You know, that was first said to me by Laverne Wenzel at the California Institute of Technology. She used to run a department down there. It was probably a department that won a Nobel Prize. And she said that to me often. And she was a very wise lady. Anyway, so this is what? Pearls of Wisdom? Okay, so that's the end of Pearls of Wisdom. All right? Good.